on Sun Valley. Daily local news from beautiful Sun Valley, Idaho.
Hi, I'm Karen Bosick with Eye on Sun Valley. I'm here today with John Landine, who is an attorney by trade, but in the last several years, John has become very much a historian, delving into every nook and cranny of Sun Valley. In fact, John just recently published his award-winning Early Skiing on Snoqualmie Pass, which I understand is the bestseller at Chapter 1 bookstore in Ketchum because of all the Seattle people buying it. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about a very interesting part of Sun Valley's beginnings. We've all heard the name Averill Harriman, the Union Pacific man who basically started Sun Valley Resort, Count Felix Schotch, who helped him find the right place for the Sun Valley Resort. But John contends there's another couple who, without them, Sun Valley would have never happened. Who are those people, John?
Well, Karen, that would be Robert Strahorn and his wife, Carrie Adele Strahorn. And the theme of my talk that I'll be giving at the Haley Library in July will be that there are two people, as you say, responsible for Sun Valley being here. One was Averill Harriman, who was chairman of the board of Union Pacific Railroad, and in 1936 built Sun Valley not as a standalone ski resort, but as an adjunct of the railroad to try to rebuild the passenger business that had been decimated by the Depression. And of course, one of the criteria when he sent the Count out to scout for locations, it had to be served by Union Pacific. So the person who was responsible for bringing the Union Pacific Railroad in here in 1883 was Robert Strahorn and his wife. They were
That's a good 50 years ahead of the time Sun Valley Resort was built.
Well, many, many years. And of course, the attraction those days was the Silver Strike. And Strahorn has a very interesting background. He was born in Pennsylvania, trained as a typesetter to work in the newspaper and publication business. Was in bad health, so he came west for a better climate. Ended up, he probably had tuberculosis, and worked in Denver, and then became a roving reporter associated with General Crooks during the Sioux Wars of 1876. And he was a journalist embedded with General Crooks, his cavalry unit, and they had the rather disgraceful job of trying to round up the Sioux Indian people who were in the area that was given to them by the federal government by the Treaty of 1868. But once gold was found in the Black Hills of Dakota, the federal government reneged on its promise, and they were rounding up all the free Sioux to put them in reservations. And the ones that didn't want to go, they were attacked by General Crooks, usually in the morning. He would ride into their encampments and start killing people right and left, men, women, children. And that was an unfortunate part of our history. But Strahorn was there as a journalist and covered it and made quite a national reputation. He was reporting for newspapers in Chicago and New York and other places. And because of that work, he became well known in Wyoming. He started out, his first publication was basically the economic potential of the territory of Wyoming. And in the middle of all this, he met this very interesting woman from Chicago, the Chicago area, and fell in love with her. They had a long-distance relationship, and she was quite enamored with this Indian fighter and journalist. She was a graduate of the University of Michigan, very cultured person, came from a wealthy family. Her father was a doctor, and there were not many women who were college educated in those days, but she was one of them. And on his way to Chicago from Wyoming, he had been offered the job of a territorial secretary for the territory of Wyoming. And he met the ticket agent for the Union Pacific Railroad on his way back, showed him his first book on the economic potential of Wyoming. The ticket agent contacted people higher up in Union Pacific, particularly Jay Gould, who was an outside financier but controlled Union Pacific in those days. And Gould,
kind of a robber baron.
He was known as absolutely the classic robber baron, and he did all the illegal things that people developing railroads did in those days. It's a fascinating history. But Gould had his eye on the West. Ever since the Transcontinental Railroad was finished in 1869, Union Pacific wanted a connection to the Northwest. Trade was booming, the Willamette Valley was booming, Puget Sound was booming, and Northern Pacific was building a route from the Midwest out to Puget Sound. And he knew if Northern Pacific got there first, they would take a lot of the economy away from Union Pacific. So he had his eye on Western expansion. The first thing he did in 1878 was to buy from the Mormons what was called the Utah Northern Railroad. That went from Ogden up to Franklin, Idaho, which was in southeastern Idaho. When that was built, Brigham Young thought it was actually in Utah. That's why he built it there. But it went bankrupt in the 1870s, and the electrical era was just coming in. Edison was inventing his light bulbs and everything else. And they had just discovered copper in Butte, Montana. So Gould bought Utah Northern and finished it from Franklin, Idaho up to Butte. And that gave him access to all the copper from Butte that was a critical part of the electrical age that was just coming.
Okay. We're going to have to take a break. We'll be right back.
So we're mods. We have coffee, we have pastries, we have clothing. We sell it all. We have a range of vintage clothing, high-end women's and everyday wear, ranging from Pendleton to fancy going-out dresses. Some clothing even dating back to the 20s.
Hi, I'm Jacob. My wife Tara and I are the owners of Mods. We're both a coffee shop and a clothing store. We use Harrison Insurance for everything. Business, auto, renters, even our little dog is insured.
The nuances of our unique business are covered with Harrison, and I don't think that I could have obtained that going to a big insurance company directly.
We feel that if something were to happen tomorrow, we'd be okay because we have Harrison Insurance to help us.
Harrison Insurance for all of your insurance needs.
Welcome back. We're learning the story of how Sun Valley came to be. So how did Robert Strahorn figure into all of this?
Well, Karen, the next thing that Jay Gould did, he really wanted to build his Northwest connection from the main line of Union Pacific to Portland. He knew there was huge economic potential out there, and he wanted to jump the gun on the Northern Pacific. So he hired Robert Strahorn, literally on the train on his way to get married, and hired him as a publicist for the Union Pacific Railroad. And he hired him, he and his wife, to tour the Northwest to write stories about the economic potential. He wrote a whole series of promotional materials on several states, including Idaho, showing the mining, agriculture, timber, and huge potential. And he and Carrie Adele, starting in 1877, traveled throughout the West Coast, mainly in the Northwest. And their job was twofold. One, to create publicity for the economic potential there, and secondly, to scout out the best route for the railroad. And they did that. And Robert spent his time writing these rather dry economic analysis of the area. But Carrie Adele, who was quite well educated and a wonderful writer, she wrote a series of articles for women's magazines in the Midwest and East. And she gave the personal side of what life was like in the Northwest in those days, what it was like to travel by stagecoach, enduring all the hardships. And there wasn't much out here in those days. It was beyond some mining and initial agriculture. It was a barren country. And
I'm surprised people allowed her to accompany her husband by stagecoach.
Well, initially, Union Pacific didn't want her to go. They thought that she was too cultured a woman to go on a trip like this, and they thought it was far too dangerous. But Robert put his foot down and said, if my wife doesn't come, I don't go. So they relented. They gave both of them passes so they could travel for free anywhere the railroad went.
And what were a couple of the adventures they had traveling by stagecoach?
Well, they had many, many adventures, from potential Indian attacks to runaway stagecoaches to riding on the front of a railroad train, an engine pulling a train, going over the largest railroad bridge in the West. And they're riding on the cowcatcher because Robert thought that would be an interesting thing to do. They went down into mines, several thousand feet down below the surface. So they did it all. Everything that was happening in the West, they did.
And she went right alongside him.
She was right alongside him. She called him Pard for partner. And their whole relationship was a partnership. And they saw it all together. And I might mention that she wrote one of the best books about early life in the West. It's called 15,000 Miles by Stage. It was published in 1911 and became an immediate bestseller and is terrific. There's some wonderful illustrations in there and pictures. And that was republished by the University of Nebraska Press in 1964. So you can actually, the originals are worth quite a bit of money, but you can buy a 2-volume set of paperback on the used book market. And I certainly recommend it for all people who are interested in Idaho history and early Western history.
Okay. So tell me more about their connection to Haley, Sun Valley.
Well, they fell in love with the Wood River Valley. They came here several times, and they were here when silver was first discovered. And they saw that the Wood River Valley, that was the largest silver strike in the 1880s. It happened actually in 1880. But it ultimately became the largest silver producing area in the country in the 1880s. And transportation was a critical thing for all mining areas. And Robert decided that he wanted to push Union Pacific to build a branch in here. In 1881, Jay Gould had decided to actually go ahead and build his connection to Portland, and they couldn't actually build it under the original charter that Union Pacific got in 1862 from Congress. So they had to incorporate a subsidiary, which they did in Wyoming, and its job was to build the shortest route to Oregon, so it was called the Oregon Short Line. And they started in 1881 from Granger, Wyoming, which was on the main line, started building west toward Portland. And Strahorn, one of his great contributions was to convince Gould to build a spur line in here. So in 1882, when the railroad reached Shoshone, they started building in here and put resources that would otherwise push it to the west to build it in here. And it transformed the Wood River Valley when it came here. It opened Wood River Valley to the outside world. It made transportation quick and cheap. It brought in large amounts of outside capital and caused a huge economic boom here in the Wood River Valley.
Okay. I want to hear more, but we got to take a break right now. We'll be back.
La Cabanita Mex, dubbed by the locals as authentic, tasty Mexican food and drinks with a festive atmosphere. And a pretty darn good sports bar, too. Big screens all over. La Cabanita prides itself on their authentica cocina mexicana. Good food, very fast service, and delicious house recipes with those special Mexican spices. La Cabanita Mex, serving lunches, dinners, catering, company parties, and takeout. Ketchum and Bellevue. La Cabanita Mex.
Hi, I'm Gary, manager of the Attic Thrift Store in Haley, and today I'm not here to sell you anything or tell you about any great deals at the Attic. We all know the Attic always has great deals. That goes without saying. Instead, the Attic and its staff would like to give a sincere thank you to all its loyal customers and generous donors who help to make a huge impact in our community. How? For those who don't know, the Attic Thrift Store is a nonprofit that exists to help support the advocates whose mission is to teach people of all ages to build and maintain healthy relationships through education, shelter, and support services. With your help, we are making a difference in ending domestic violence and sexual assault. Every day, lives are changed at The Advocates. Please visit our website at www.theadvocatesorg.org. So from all of us, thank you for shopping and donating to The Attic. You're truly...
Thank you for joining us again. We just heard how Robert Strahorn was responsible for getting the spur line that would ultimately allow Averell Harriman to build Sun Valley Resort in 1936. What else did Robert Strahorn do for the Wood River Valley?
Well, Karen, he has a very interesting and mixed history. The major thing he did next was he and some other Union Pacific insiders formed a company called the Idaho and Oregon Land Improvement Company. They knew the route that the Union Pacific would follow, the Oregon Short Line, and they knew where the stops would be. So they bought, among other things, worthless desert land, knowing there'd be a stop there, basically for nothing. Then they would plant cities, build infrastructure, and make enormous profits selling the money to settlers who came. As part of that, knowing that the Union Pacific was going to come in here, his company bought the town site of Shoshone and the town site of Haley. Now, Haley had been formed by John Haley earlier under the Desert Land Act, but he had gotten a patent or title to the land. So Strahorn's company bought it from Haley and his associates and basically built Haley into the town it is. He brought irrigation land to irrigate the area around it. He brought water into the land, and he basically built the company. He helped build the first electrical system there, helped build the Alturas Hotel, which is a big place to stay, and the Haley Hot Springs Resort, which is out in Croy Canyon.
The important things.
And the key here is that he brought the railroad in, and Harriman never would have looked at this area except for Strahorn's railroad that came in. However, there's a twist to that story, too, because he owned the town site of Haley. Haley was going to be the terminus of the Wood River branch. And he said that would make Haley the Denver of Idaho. No plans to extend it further north. The problem was for him that the Philadelphia smelter was located north of Ketchum. It smelted virtually all the ore that was mined in the Wood River Valley around here. It was the biggest customer, and it wanted an extension north. So there was an inside battle between the economic forces of Strahorn and the Philadelphia smelter. The smelter ultimately won, and in 1884 they extended the line from Haley up here. Although it never was intended to go to Ketchum. The smelter was actually north and outside of the city of Ketchum, but the railroad went right into it.
Now, for those who might not be familiar, the Philadelphia smelter was located near the mouth of what we now call Warm Spring.
Exactly. It was right across from where the YMCA is now. It was on the west side of the river. However, they owned 1,000 acres on the east side of the river where the industrial area is now. And that was actually incorporated into Ketchum in 1884. It's called the Rhodes Edition. And that really gave the full economic boom to the Wood River Valley.
And so the railroad came all the way up to the area around the YMCA.
The depot was just north of where the YMCA is now in the developed area there.
And that's why we have the beautiful bike path now on the railroad line.
Exactly. And Strahorn went on to develop a lot of other cities and towns in Idaho, best known for Caldwell, that was just a total desert, and he built it up himself. And there were 5 or 6 other railroad towns, all on the Oregon Short Line route, for which he's responsible. And again, he was trading on inside information, which would be illegal in these days. But back in the 1880s, there weren't antitrust laws, there were no securities laws, and people could do pretty much what they wanted to, and they did in the railroad industry. And Strahorn actually left here in 1888 and ventured further out, stayed in the railroad business generally. He first went to Washington when the Northern Pacific was being built, and he thought that the terminus of the Union Pacific would be Fairhaven, Washington, which is right by Bellingham. So he built up, did some land development there and invested a lot of money, but he got fooled because the terminus ended up to be Tacoma, Washington. So he lost a lot of money.
Oh, no.
And he went to Boston and brokered bonds after that, and then came back to Spokane in the early 1900s. It was a thriving railroad town. There were several railroads going through, including Northern Pacific. Canadian Pacific came down, and he spent the next couple decades of his life developing railroads in Washington and Oregon. And he was financed initially by E.H. Harriman, who after Union Pacific and all the other railroads went into bankruptcy in the Silver Depression of the 1890s, E.H. Harriman bought Union Pacific out of bankruptcy and rebuilt it, and was Strahorn's financial angel to develop railroads in Washington and Oregon, which he did.
And then Averill came along, and the rest is history.
And the rest is history. When Averill wanted a ski area, the one thing it had to have had to be served by Union Pacific.
Because the idea was
to build
get people to use the planes.
The whole idea wasn't to build a ski area, it was to build something that would attract people to take the trains. And if Strahorn had not convinced Union Pacific to build it in here, we wouldn't be sitting here today in Sun Valley, Idaho, talking about this.
All right. Well, that's another story. Thank you so much for joining us, John.
And you will hear that story in my next book that's coming out this fall, which is Sun Valley, Early Years under the Union Pacific Railroad.
We can't wait. Thank you for joining us. I hope you learned a thing or two today. Until the next time, I'm Karen Bosick with Eye on Sun Valley, and I'm keeping my eye on Sun Valley for you.
Better food, better price, better service. Atkinson's Market, supporting local farmers since 1956.
My name is Megan Murphy-Lingle, and I am the founder of SQN Sport. SQN Sport means sine qua non, and that means only the essential in Latin. The brand is built around the idea of what is essential for sport and an active life. And what we try to do is take away a lot of the extra embellishments on garments that people probably don't need that drive up the cost of the garment. By reducing it, we get a more contemporary, minimal design, and it also meets our brand message, which is what is essential.
Good morning, Eye on Sun Valley. This is Marie's Kitchen, and welcome. Today we are gonna have a little bit of a different way in my kitchen because I have a special guest. And you probably, most of you in this valley know about Danes. Danes, welcome in my kitchen. And thank you for being here too.
Really happy.
So Dane's gonna show us how to make red curry chicken. And I am gonna give the spotlight to my friend Danes. Go ahead, Danes.
All right, so good morning. My name is Dang from Dang Thai Cuisine in Haley. So on Main Street. So today I'm gonna show you how to cook red curry that I cooked with my mom since I was little. All right,
Is that in Thailand?
In Thailand.
In Thailand.
Yes.
Is your mom still in Thailand, by the way? She's still in Thailand. Okay.
The first I'm gonna show you how to cut the chicken, that what we need to put in the curry. Okay. So I cut this way better. So we don't cut too big. We cut about this size.
It's a very beautiful slice. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Doesn't look like it, but it has a style, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's really nice. I like it.
Here you go. We have good chicken now.
We're gonna put it in that bowl.
Here you go.
Okay.
That's good. So after we got everything ready, we're gonna go back to the stove and then we're gonna put this one in.
Okay, so but before we go further, Dangs, I want to tell our viewer what we have here. So we have a cup of red and green bell pepper.
Yes.
And it looks like Christmas color, isn't it? It's very pretty. And so you did that in like a julienne style. Then we have green peas and carrot, alpha cup. We have alpha cup of water that we are gonna use, if I'm not mistaken, with
the coconut milk. Yes.
Salt, pepper, a little bit of sugar. You just did the chicken. What is this?
This is the bamboo shoot that we use.
Bamboo shoot. And it's about 1 cup, right?
That's about 1 cup for the amount. And then we use the kaffir leaf.
Kaffir leaves.
We don't use much. We use about this much.
Yeah. Those are strong, aren't they?
Yeah, they give you very good smell.
Yes.
Very, very good smell.
I love the smell in the Thai cuisine.
And then this we use
Thai basil?
Thai basil.
Just for garnish.
Yes.
Yes. And this is red curry paste?
The curry paste, yeah.
And you told me earlier you like to use a certain brand for your coconut milk?
So some of the brand that they make it, they use a lot of water. But this brand, I think they're very good. They're thicker.
So, and it's called Mayplo, Maeploy.
So they spell Mapoy.
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 Yes.
Okay. But red curry, I use the red curry, it's the Messi. So she make really quality of the curry paste.
So, I mean, a chef, I'm not a chef, obviously, I'm just a cook and I love to cook. But we all have people who love to cook. They all have the same goal, quality of ingredients.
Yes.
Quality makes quality food. And then when you have it in your plate, you can taste it, period, right?
Yes,
yeah, I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree. So what is next, Deng?
So after we prepare everything, so we have to go back to the stove here to start cooking. All right, so the first step, we're gonna put some oil, 2 spoons. 1 and 2. Okay. Let me tie on that. So after that, I can put some curry paste on this. Okay. So the trick on when you make curry, so make sure you cook the curry until they give you really good smell before you put chicken on.
So what you're doing there, Dangs, it's release the taste and the spice of the red curry. That's what you're doing to
Yes.
release some flavor.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly right. So this is very good trick that my mom gave me when I cook with her since I was little.
So how old were you, Dangs, when you moved to the United States?
So I'll be here in year 2000.
2000. So you moved from Thailand
Yes.
to the United States
Yes.
in 2000.
So
Okay.
when you see the curry be like this,
Yes.
that means it's good enough to put the chicken on.
Okay.
Put chicken in. Now you're gonna stir until the chicken cook very well, and then you can put the coconut milk in.
Okay. So when you moved to the U.S. in 2000, Dangs, did you move? Where did you move? Did you move here or
I came to Florida.
Florida first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I came to Florida. First, I thought I was gonna go school for hotel and restaurant management, but when I get to Florida, it's very expensive for international students, and that's why I decided to learn from the restaurant and earn the money instead of go to the college and pay the money.
Pay for the money. Yeah. And you use your cooking skills that you learned from your mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, it's like me because my mom, you know, I don't know if you know, but I come from a huge family. We were 9 children in my family.
Oh.
So my mom was always cooking.
Yeah.
How many, do you have siblings?
The sizzling?
Siblings, like brothers, sisters?
Oh, yeah, I do. I do have 7 sisters.
Oh, there you go.
And then I am the boy and younger one in family. That's
Only
why,
one boy?
Yeah, that's why I help my mom a lot.
There you go.
When I young, yes.
Yeah, so you always saw your mom cooking?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Same here. But we are 6 girls and 3 boys in my family. So we had one more than you.
Yes.
Because you were 8 kids, right?
Yeah, I have a lot of sisters around me.
Does your mom still in Taiwan?
Yeah.
Oh, in Thailand, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
she's in Thailand.
Yes.
So now my mom, she 96 years old.
Oh my God.
But she's still really strong, really healthy. She still do the garden at home.
That's the good cooking.
Yeah.
Because she cooks every day, right?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
So when the chicken halfway cooked, now you can put coconut milk in.
Okay.
So I just put half first. I'm gonna make sure that my chicken and coconut milk mix together.
Oh, it smells so good. Oh my goodness. Oh, what a smell. Sometimes I wish we can just send the smell through the camera so people can smell how, oh, it smells so good. How long have you been here in the valley?
In the valley, 2 times. On the first, I told you I moved in Florida, right?
Yes.
And then I stay in Florida not too long after I decided not to go to school. And then I moved here in year 2000, almost end of the year 2000. I moved here in Haley, right before Thanksgiving. And then I stay here for 3 years. I moved to South Carolina to open the restaurant.
Okay.
So I stay in South Carolina for a while, and then my restaurant really succeed, and I opened a second one over there. But I still miss this town. I really love this town. That's why I moved back here.
Oh. I see.
Yeah, I saw a restaurant in South Carolina and moved here.
And open things.
Open dance, yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow. Well, lucky for us, you here.
So one thing that I have to say, thank you so much for all people in the valley that support me a lot.
Don't we leave? Don't you think? Don't you have that feeling that this valley it's special? I think this valley is special.
Very special for me. So after the chicken almost cooked, we're gonna put the cow lip and make highlight mint. So a lot of people they chop small, but
you like to just crack and throw it.
Yes. That's what my mom do it when I.
There you go. Mom is always right.
Okay. So when your chicken almost cooked, you can put the bamboo. Bamboo need to cook a little longer.
Okay.
So that's why we can put this chicken right now.
No matter your taste or personal style, the shopping in Sun Valley has what you need for a day in the mountains or elegant night on the town. From bike sales, rentals, repair, outdoor accessories, and souvenirs to high-end, on-trend fashion and sportwear, including a hip, modern women's boutique, there is something for everyone in the Sun Valley Village. Don't forget about the kids, as stepping foot in the toy store is a dream come true for the little ones. The Sun Valley Village shopping options blend a touch of European style with Main Street USA hospitality, all in a charming mountain town setting.
You know, we go through a lot of traumatic mental breakdowns, and as you transition out of the military, you don't get a mental uplift. So if it's a veteran that doesn't know about hyperbarics, well then let's figure out how we can talk, because there's room for you here. It's going to heal you. So, and it starts with the brain regardless of what else is manifesting outside of that, and then spirit comes alive. And that's, for veterans at least, the most important thing, is getting their spirit back.
I put the bamboo in
the mix.
In the about halfway of the chicken cook, because the bamboo needs to cook a little longer. So after we put the bamboo, we're gonna put the coconut, the half of coconut.
So now you have the whole can of coconut milk. Yes.
Yeah.
In your recipe.
And then I'm gonna put some water in there. So that's mom trick also.
Yes.
She put the water in here.
Tricks.
And then just wash them a little bit.
Okay.
So now you get all the coconut in here. Just a little water.
And the reason you put a little bit of water with the coconut milk is because it was so thick, and you wanted to have it a little bit more of liquid. Right?
Yes. If you put the pure coconut, they're gonna give you a different taste of the curry, but too much coconut, like over coconut milk.
All right, so the next vegetable you're gonna put in?
That's gonna be pea and carrot.
The peas and the carrots, okay.
Okay, so we put pea and carrot in here. And
That looks so nice.
And the bell pepper.
Okay.
So after we
red and
green bell pepper. Okay. So after that, we're gonna put some salt and sugar. This is the salt. It's about first I'm gonna put 1 spoon.
That's a lot.
And another spoon of the sugar.
Okay. Why do you put sugar in that recipe, Dan?
Because the sugar is gonna give you better taste. Because on the curry they have to have spicy, salt, and a little taste of sugar. Yeah.
Good to know.
So it depends on somebody eat a little salty, you can put more salt.
Okay.
But not recommend a lot of sugar.
Yeah, okay. And so now you're gonna cook it for what, 10 minutes?
It's about 5 minutes.
to 10?
5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just make sure the chicken cook and the bell pepper cook.
Okay.
So after everything cooked, we're gonna put the basil leaf on.
Thai basil, yes.
Basil.
So when you grew up in Thailand, Dangs, did you have a vegetable garden? Did you grow vegetables?
So in my house, my mom, she really good gardener. We don't buy stuff. I have to wake up early morning to water the garden with my mom. Yeah. That's right. In my family, especially my mom, and I sleep with my mom until I 13, and then after that I moved to Bangkok. So we never get up after the sun. We have to get up before the sun.
Oh my goodness. So strict rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
And mom don't care what time you sleep. But she cares about when you wake up before sun.
Wow.
A lot of another family, the younger one, they have special teeth, but me no.
Because you were the only boy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, cause I so with my next sister and me, so it's about 6 years different.
Oh, 6 years?
Yeah, they all grow and then I'm young, and so just like
Poor Dangs.
follow mom all the time. So after we put everything in, we're gonna taste them, and in case we need some sugar or some salt.
So Dangs, this had cooked for about 15 minutes altogether,
Yes,
correct?
it's about that. Yes.
Yeah, and now the best moment for me when I cook it, we are gonna taste it, right?
Okay, it's
all
ready
right,
to
let's
serve.
taste.
Okay.
I give you my
Put on
plate.
here.
Thank
There
you,
go.
Dangs.
You can see the
That's
chicken.
Yeah. Oh
and
my goodness.
So normally we serve it steamed, right? But
yeah, for today. Well, I think I have enough things. You should have some a little bit. We
Okay.
taste together.
Okay.
You work hard. But this is an easy recipe. And you know me. I like easy recipe. I like that you guys over there are able to do within 30 minutes, right? Because that's what we like. And it tastes so good. All right, Dings.
So
okay, and I like
everything ready.
Yes,
Here you
sir.
go.
I love that.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
let's
good.
taste.
Okay. Please.
I
you
go first?
Yes,
Thank you,
please.
thanks. Thank you so much.
So, what do you think?
I think it's not good. It's delicious.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, there's a kick into it because of the red curry paste, right?
Yes, if somebody not like spicy like it, they can use the little of the curly paste.
Okay, so you don't put the whole can, you just put for. There is a kick, but I like it. I really, really like it. So also, thanks, I forgot to mention or ask you, but maybe you did mention earlier, we can find all those ingredients at the regular grocery store, correct?
Right. Yes. They have, I think they have in Atkinson.
Okay.
The curly paste.
Okay.
But the coconut milk, they have all over in Albertson or Atkinson.
Okay, so we can find it here in the valley.
Yes, and then the coffee leaf, I saw some in Atkinson.
Okay.
But if you need some, so I have a bunch in my restaurant.
Well, just stop by Dangs, Main Street, ALA, Idaho, and he will be more than happy to give you some. So what I would like to say, Dangs, thank you so much for joining us today on Ionson Valley in Murray's Kitchen. I am so happy that you taught us how to make red chicken curry. I'm going to make it. It's so easy. And happy holidays to all of you out there in the valley and everywhere else. Thanks again for joining us. And please feel free to stop by his restaurant because there is good Thai food.
Oh,
Thanks,
thank you
Dan.
so much.
Thank you so much. And how do we say, exactly, how do we say thank you in Thai?
We say women say ขอบคุณค่ะ
Kum ka.
but the man like me say ขอบคุณครับ
Huh, it's like tom yum kan soup or tom yum. You know,
ต้มยำกุ้ง
Yeah, tom yum kung. Oh my gosh, it's really nice. And how do you say goodbye in Thai?
ลาก่อน
La kon. And me, I always say au revoir.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Better food, better price, better service. Atkinson's Market, supporting local farmers since 1956.
Are you like me and can't stand paying your insurance bill? Just when you pay all your bills for the month, then along comes that dreaded insurance bill, putting the hurt on your checking account. Hello, I'm Mark Balkos, president of Wood River Insurance. That's why Wood River Insurance is an independent insurance agency. This means we have a multiple of insurance companies we offer to our clients. This allows us to hold the insurance companies accountable for coverage, service, and most important of all, pricing. When I started in this business 33 years ago, I only represented one company to my customers. And after a while, I felt as though my hands were tied when trying to be as competitive as I could. As an independent insurance agency, we represent you to the insurance company, not the insurance company to you. This allows Wood River Insurance to be as competitive as possible. So call us today at 208.
Hi, I'm Karen Bosick with Iron Sun Valley, and I'm here today with Stephanie Lane of Scotch Dogs Training. And Stephanie has just taken 50 dogs in the Wood River Valley through dog classes, 9 weeks of dog classes. Stephanie, what did you do with those dogs over the 9 weeks?
Well, we actually took the dogs from kindergarten to graduation, starting with, we fixed pulling, jumping, barking. We started to learn to heel and sit and down. We learned stay and come, which are the two most important commands. And today we're graduating with dogs that are off-leash reliable, which is a very high aim for dog training. And actually, I'm a people trainer too.
And I understand that you did all this without treats?
No
without
treats.
clickers?
No treats. No treats, no whistles, no clickers, no shock collars. This training is built on the relationship between the dog and the handler, and we use a balance of correction and praise, and we arrive at off-leash reliability.
So, what were some of the things you did with these dogs during the classes? I understand there was a goat involved, a bunny rabbit involved, hamburger dragged across the lawn.
Oh yeah. We're trying to teach the dogs that there's no distraction that they can use as an excuse for disobeying. So we drag raw hamburger past to test them on the stay. We bring a bunny so they learn how to come even if they're busy looking at a bunny. And of course the goat is the biggest distraction, and that's the week that we go off leash.
And is it the humans that you're really training?
Yes, it is. But you know, the dogs are very teachable, they're very smart, and regardless of the age, from 6 months on up, regardless of the age or breed, all dogs are capable of this training. We've seen thousands of them in the 29 years that Scotch Pines dog training has been around. And actually, I forgot to mention, we bring cat food and bouncing balls and frisbees too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. And the dogs ignore it, huh?
Well, they learn to obey anyway.
Wow. Wow. So, have you got any good stories about success stories over the years you've been doing this?
Well, I have lots of success stories. My favorites are when people are struggling with a dog and they just are about to either rehome the dog or give up on the dog, and they decide to give this a try, and all of a sudden they have a dog now that they enjoy, that obeys, and that's so rewarding to help people really find a way to enjoy their dog more.
Okay, okay.
And the dogs really enjoy it too.
Uh-huh. And I understand we have little graduation certificates for the dogs.
And
we have
hats.
little mortarboards for the head.
Yeah, we should pull out a hat.
Uh-huh.
Ta-da! Yeah.
How would I look in one of these?
Pretty good.
So you'll be doing this again
Yes.
soon?
Yes. In fact, I offer classes in the Wood River Valley in spring and in fall, and my next class starts in mid-March.
Mid-March, okay. All right.
Thank you,
Well, there you have it, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Eye on Sun Valley today. I'm Karen Bosick, and until the next time, I'm keeping my eye on Sun Valley for you.
Better food, better price, better service. Atkinson's Market, supporting local farmers since 1956.
Are you like me and can't stand paying your insurance bill? Just when you pay all your bills for the month, then along comes that dreaded insurance bill, putting the hurt on your checking account. Hello, I'm Mark Balkos, president of Wood River Insurance. That's why Wood River Insurance is an independent insurance agency. This means we have a multiple of insurance companies we offer to our clients. This allows us to hold the insurance companies accountable for coverage, service, and most important of all, pricing. When I started in this business 33 years ago, I only represented one company to my customers. And after a while, I felt as though my hands were tied when trying to be as competitive as I could. As an independent insurance agency, we represent you to the insurance company, not the insurance company to you. This allows Wood River Insurance to be as competitive as possible. So call us today at 208-788-1100 and let Wood River Insurance represent you.
I always sense a level of honesty, you know, in the music that we create.
It's all about listening to each other and taking styles and blending them.
We just let our music happen, and sometimes it takes us to places where we never thought we could go, and we're looking at each other when we're done going, how do we do that? And that's really the only way that you can create that kind of magic, is to just leave space for it to happen.
Audio Innovations is an innovative audio-visual company that designs, integrates, and simplifies a truly custom system to keep you comfortable, entertained, and secure in your own home. Audio Innovations TJ's Electric offers a variety of services, from phone systems to lighting control systems, HVAC systems, home theater, electrical, audio, and video, drapery systems, and more. Audio Innovations, 91 East Croy Street, Alturas Plaza, in Haley.
You just never know what kind of day someone's having. If we don't get out of self and we don't look at the other person in the eyes or say hi or hello, we have no idea, what kind of impact that could have had for someone for that day.
It's kind of tragic. As we age, a person tends to isolate himself for one reason or another. When I applied for Meals on Wheels, I didn't realize what a wonderful service it really was. Socializing with all of the volunteers that come to visit, they're just doing it out of their good kindness, their good-heartedness, and it contributes to my nourishment and to my health.
We can be a community that looks after all our members. No one forgotten, no one alone, no one hungry.
How to help? What can I do? What can we do? If we want to make a difference, we have to get out there.
While I am theoretically here to help and give to other people, I always feel like I get so much more back.
The volunteers have wonderful insight in what makes elders happy. All the people here have such interesting lives and stories. We're not just elders here. And most of all, we don't feel isolated.
You feel good mentally by coming here.
Well, it's changed us.
It's filled my heart, it's filled my life with so much activity.
I think we all long to be communal. We long to be cared for and loved, and that's what happens here. Aging doesn't discriminate. We're all gonna age. There's no way of getting around it. Our desire is that quality of life and love and family would be available to all members of our community. That's what we do. If not us, who? Someone once said to me a month or so ago, he said, people say Disneyland's the happiest place on earth. I think this place is the happiest place on earth.
That this is the most fabulous place to come. I'm 85 and I do not feel my age. And I think it's because of the senior connection.
We just keep each other moving.
It's like family. It's a gathering place. It's played a big part in my life.
This is what we do, and we can't do it without you.
Eye on Sun Valley, daily local news from beautiful Sun Valley, Idaho.